Town election 2021 is in the books, and we'll give you all the final results. Pretty soon, it won't just be construction crews at Arlington High School. The students are coming back. And April is a month filled with holidays and community events, from Patriots Day to Earth Day. One local institution is celebrating a milestone of its own. That and more on ACMi News up next.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
Hello, Arlington, and welcome to ACMi News. I'm Isabella Turst. Tuesday, April 13th, marked the first day of Ramadan, the Islamic holy month that takes place during the 9th month of the lunar calendar. During Ramadan, Muslims around the world fast from sunrise to sunset, abstaining from food, drink, and other activities. It is a time of self-reflection, community, and heightened spirituality and connection to God with extra prayers and charity. Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars that make up Islam and comes to an end when the crescent new moon is first sighted, kicking off a 3-day celebration. To everyone who observes it, we wish you a happy Ramadan. Now, this week's stories. We begin by recapping last Saturday's town elections. Senior news producer Anim Osmani is live in studio to announce the winners of the town-wide offices as well as the results of the election for town meeting members.
Thanks, Isabel. The official results for town elections were released by the town clerk's office on Tuesday, April 13, and they confirmed that Eric Helmuth and John Hurd are going to be on the select board. John Hurd won his election bid by 40 votes over Jennifer Seuss. Nicholas Metropolis and Kevin Feely also won re-election for seats on the Housing Authority and the Board of Assessors, respectively. And here is the latest slate of new or returning town meeting members. The voter turnout rate was 19% out of the 32,000 registered voters in Arlington, which is about average according to the town clerk.
It was pretty sort of medium-high turnout for a town election. Last year's was much higher, but under unusual circumstances. So this year was sort of in the ballpark of other elections. I guess the last time we had similar turnout was in 2019, which was 6,100, and this was 6,341. So 5,000 or 6,000 is about normal out of 33,000 voters. That's upsetting to a lot of people that more people don't turn out for local elections.
Comparing our turnout rates with neighboring municipalities, Belmont had approximately a 46% turnout, Lexington 12%, Burlington 16%, and the town of Bedford 22%, according to their respective clerk's office. So how much difference can voter turnout make?
Well, you never know. It depends on who shows up. The candidate that gets the most supporters to the polls, it's the one that wins.
On election night, Eric Helmuth spoke with James Milan live on ACMi to express his gratitude for the support he received from Arlingtonians.
I'm so grateful for the support of the people of this town that I love so very much. And it is really exciting to have that trust and to have the opportunity to get to work. We have some exciting opportunities, some exciting challenges to work together on. And, I think it's a great team that we've got on the select board and all the other parts of the government, other committees and commissions and bodies that we work together with. It's a big team, and I'm really lucky and honored to be part of it.
John Hurd also appeared on ACMi to talk about the work he is focusing on continuing.
In the interim, in the next year, what I really am looking forward to is rebuilding the town out of COVID. We have a lot of ongoing issues that we've been dealing with for years, both in racial equity and housing. But right now, as we get through the COVID crisis, putting the town back together, we have our kids back in schools, helping our businesses is really going to be a key aspect that the select board takes care of. And I'm really looking forward to it. I want to congratulate Eric, our newest board member.
Other candidates provided post-election statements to Your Arlington. Precinct 14 has an open seat remaining, and town meeting members will follow standard procedures to fill the vacancy by appointing someone before the annual town meeting kicks off. Isabel, back to you.
It's nice to see a friendly face in here. Thanks, Aneem. It looks like I'll be sending it back to you for the next story. Students at Arlington High will soon return to school for in-person instruction 5 days a week. The announcement was made by the school committee in their April 8th meeting. Here's Aneem with the reopening details.
Thursday, May 6th is the day Arlington High School seniors will return to school, with freshmen joining them on the following day. Sophomores and juniors will fill in on Monday, May 10th.
I'm extraordinarily proud of our students who have kept on coming and plugging away and being engaged, worried and stressed very much, but really engaging in that. It really is a testament to what a strong school we have. And it's been a privilege, I'll be honest, to lead and carry this community in this school through the time. And I am excited about the prospect of having kids back in the school.
AHS Principal Dr. Matthew Janger expressed his contentment with the return of in-person instruction during the April 8th school committee meeting. Principal Janger referred to Arlington's low transmission levels, CDC, and state guidelines, and the improved ventilation system at AHS as deciding factors in making this decision.
It's not going to be easy. We'll still be fitting like a Tetris model exactly into the building. I remember when we did the Tetris model the last time and we said we got 90% of the way there. 3 feet chair to chair gets us 99% there. Like, it gets us to where we can do it, but it is going to be a really tight squeeze. And we know we can do it, but it's going to be a squeeze.
According to a memo detailing the reopening plan, one-way travel patterns throughout the high school will be in place. Masks are still required to be worn, but there will be designated mask breaks for students. Lunch periods will be broken into 4 blocks and will follow an open campus model. AHS plans to provide cafeteria space, the blue gym space, and the entirety of the courtyard for lunch. Tents will be set up to counter any concerning weather conditions for lunch and as needed. Despite the plans, one AHS freshman has opted not to return and prefers to learn remotely.
So I'm actually opting out. I'm not doing it because I don't know. It feels too soon to me. I don't really feel safe with the COVID guidelines that they decided to go by, especially the 3 feet apart guideline instead of 6 feet. I know that that's kind of people have said that 3 feet is safe, but in my opinion, 3 feet is more like personal space and not like social distancing because of COVID.
About 80% of AHS students are expected to return, while 20% will continue with online instruction.
It'll be nice to be back in the building, get to see people every day, get to move from class to class. It'll feel strangely normal to get back in the building, and I am looking forward to that. But I am concerned about the longer classes and the adjustment. But I think it's kind of a mixed bag.
Based on CDC guidelines, any evidence of high community transmission would have schools return to remote learning.
What do we do if we get to that level? I think that it may be more nuanced. Do we have it only be in the high school, or is it the entire district? Do we have to go remote? I do want to reassure you that that is being monitored. And in fact, there's a group of people that meet at least 3 times a week. I'm one of them, who are discussing, that is the focus of conversation, is the cases and what's going on with respect to COVID in the town. I think if that starts going up, we will be certainly developing a plan for how we're going to respond.
Particularly at the high school, because the guidance from the CDC at the high school is different. At the high school level, they say if there are high levels of community transmission, you should consider returning to 6 feet, which would occasion us needing to go remote. In addition, I think that we are going to look at trying to figure out a metric or an indicator for what is a high level of presence in the high school if we're getting a high case positive. And then obviously, if there's any evidence that we're getting it in clusters and it's being transmitted in the high school, if we can't modify our practices to make that safe, we'd have to deal with that.
Although many expressed their concern and in some cases frustration, there are a few weeks to go before high school students return to campus, and there are more details to sort out. Students and parents are encouraged to keep checking their email and any other notices they may receive from the school administration. For ACMi News, I'm Anim Osmani.
Elementary schools are currently in full session, and middle schoolers will return to full in-person instruction on April 28th, as per state guidance. The town of Arlington proceeds forward with its vaccination program, but a sudden announcement from the CDC and the state may be dispiriting. Massachusetts will temporarily suspend distributing the Johnson & Johnson vaccine pending further investigation into rare side effects of the vaccine. ACMi News correspondent In Young Kim has the latest on what this means for Arlington, the state, and the country.
The state authorities have chosen to temporarily pause the distribution of Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines as of Tuesday, April 13, due to extremely rare side effects that were reported.
The state's COVID-19 Command Center said, quote, in response to today's recommendation from the FDA and CDC to pause J&J vaccines due to an extremely rare condition reported in 6 individuals nationwide, the Department of Public Health directed all providers to immediately pause administration of the J&J vaccine until federal health experts investigate this matter, unquote. Arlington will also follow this guidance and stop homebound vaccinations until further notice. The CDC and the FDA reported that 6 women ages 18 to 48 showed symptoms of rare and severe blood clots about 6 to 13 days after getting J&J vaccines. The Arlington Health Department has administered approximately 80 doses of the J&J vaccine, and there are no cases of blood clots linked to Massachusetts. On Wednesday, federal health officials announced that they need more information before making a decision about the vaccines and how long they will pause before beginning to deliver them again. Massachusetts administered 181,000 J&J vaccines, which is about 4% of the total number of the vaccines delivered in the state. White House medical advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci sought to calm concern.
This is a really rare event. If you look at what we know so far, there have been 6 out of the 6.85 million doses, which is less than 1 in a million.
If any Arlingtonian who received this vaccine feels a severe headache, abdominal pain, or shortness of breath, make sure to contact your healthcare provider.
6.8 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine have been administered in the U.S. We'll continue to report any updates. For ACMi News, I'm In Young Kim.
Thanks, In Young, for your report. The Arlington Jazz Festival celebrates its 10th anniversary this year. It will commemorate this milestone with a series of 1-hour concerts presented online over a 3-night stretch from Friday, April 23rd through Sunday, the 25th. Arlington resident, multi-instrumentalist, and director of the festival, Dan Fox, is excited to share the news.
Going to be 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of April, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock each night. We're recording out of this guy's studio, Peter Contreras in Westwood. He calls it PBS, Peter's Basement Studio. And it's a really great studio. He's been doing jazz recordings for a few decades now. The first night, we have a South African pianist, very good young player named Witness Matlu. So he's going to be bringing in a trio. That's going to be the first night on April 23rd. Then the 24th is going to be a Cuban pianist and her trio. Her name is Zahili Gonzalez Zamora. The third night, I've put together a jazz quintet with some friends of mine. And we're going to present original music and some jazz and Brazilian standards. Well, we've become a nonprofit organization starting in 2017, and that's really been helpful for us in getting more exposure and getting some other grants. And people can make tax-deductible donations now. We don't have any corporate sponsorships, so we're completely dependent at the moment on people's donations. There's so many good musicians here in Arlington and the Boston area. I started it off just as a one-day event at the old Arlington Center for the Arts 10 years ago. Everyone thought it was a great idea. And then I got a grant from the town the next year. And so it got slightly bigger every year. Last year, we had to scale it down a little bit and just go virtual. This year, we're also going to have a virtual jazz festival. There will be a link on our website, which is arlingtonjazz.org. And that will take you to Eventbrite, where you can get your free ticket for any of the nights or all of the nights. And also on Eventbrite, if you would like to make a donation of any size, that would be welcome also.
The festival will be live streamed from PBS Studios located in Westwood, Mass, and be made available for real-time viewing on the Arlington Jazz Facebook event page. You can also look for replays right here on ACMi. Earth Day is April 22nd, and one Arlington business owner is stepping up to the challenge of Earth Day's message to take individual action and make a positive impact on our environment while encouraging community involvement. Once again, here's Anim Osmani with the story.
Earth Day is an annual event established in 1970 that both celebrates and encourages environmental protection and sustainability. Kaylee Urenka, owner of Yes in the Capitol Theater block in East Arlington, is demonstrating her support by establishing her very own recycling center.
All right, here's where the magic happens. All right, so this is the impromptu recycling center that I've set up in my stockroom.
Kaylee accepts products that are usually hard to recycle and not covered by curbside pickup. Products such as plastic and paper-coated packaging, water filters, cleaning supplies, dining disposables, film plastic, and even snack wrappers and medication bottles. Materials that are not being accepted included compostable items, styrofoams, toothbrushes and toothpaste tubes, ceramics, and items that can be recycled curbside.
All you have to do is bring me your trash, but it is a fairly expensive program for me to run. And so right now I'm just kind of trying out different ways of how can I make it financially sustainable. So currently we're asking for a $10 donation.
Kaylee will sort through the trash herself and then send it off to a couple of innovative recycling centers, NextTrex and TerraCycle, that turn that waste into raw materials. The donations are meant to help sustain that partnership, which enables this recycling center to operate.
One of the key things to remember is that while I'm really excited to be offering this recycling program, ultimately better than recycling is not actually having the items that need to be recycled in the first place. So that's where the store comes in.
The staple of Kaylee's business is offering plastic-free alternatives to everyday household products. She hopes that her recycling center and her business will continue to have a positive environmental impact on behalf of the community.
I would love for it to grow.
You can take part on Earth Day by simply dropping off your trash right in front of the store as long as it meets the previously mentioned requirements. Yes, it's open on Wednesdays through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sundays from 12 to 3. Kaylee wants to recognize Kristen Kipp, owner of Greater Goods Collective, for her generosity in allowing Kaylee to make use of their shared space for this purpose. For ACMi News, I'm Anim Osmani.
Thanks, Anim. Now let's take a look ahead at one of Arlington's signature events, the long-standing tradition of Patriots Day. Once again, the pandemic has prevented our traditional commemorations of Patriots Day, including the fun run, the reenactment at the Jason Russell House, and the Patriots Day Parade. Organizers would not let this important local holiday go unrecognized, however, and instead they've taken it virtual. ACMi News intern Ella Ward tells us how we can get into the holiday spirit.
The town of Arlington is celebrating Patriots Day this weekend, and although it may not look like a typical year, there are still plenty of ways to get involved in the fun.
Patriots Day celebrates the first battles of the American Revolutionary War. Back in 1775, Arlington had a large part in the Battle of Monotamy.
Our history is that we were particularly famous on the retreat. So most of the fighting actually of that day happened between the foot of the rocks and down Massachusetts Ave with a battle at the Jason Russell House.
That's Angela Olszewski, the chair of the Arlington Committee on Tourism and Economic Development. They organize the Patriots Day festivities every year.
Traditionally, Patriots Day weekend, the Monotamy Minutemen hold a reenactment at the Jason Russell House, and then we have a parade, and then we also greet the Lancers as they recreate the rides of Paul Revere and William Dawes.
Due to the ongoing pandemic, Olszewski knew they wouldn't be able to celebrate like normal, so they organized a safer way to celebrate with a decorating contest.
So we like to have people celebrate and do tourist kinds of activities, but also we like to support our local business community. So we tried to bring the two together this year and ask the residents to decorate their homes in red, white, and blue.
The winners will be given Shop Arlington First certificates that can be used at many businesses around town to stimulate the local economy. They will also be hosting a trivia contest and are encouraging storefronts to decorate and offer special deals for the weekend. Angela emphasized how they still want to have a community aspect of the celebration this year.
So be something a little bit different and celebrate some community spirit, like we said, the spirit of monotony, and get out of their homes, celebrate spring, and then also just try to bring people back to the business community.
She is hopeful for the return of a full celebration in time for next Patriots Day.
So I'm really hoping that next year we'll have great weather and that we'll be able to do all of the events.
You can learn more about all of the festivities on the Explore Arlington MA Facebook page. For ACMi News, I'm Ella Ward.
Glad to see the tradition continue. Now let's throw it over to our Ponderscope crew for all the latest Arlington High School news and information.
Welcome back to the Ponderscope, your Arlington youth news updates and more. In-person school begins May 6th. Special education and other formerly 4-day in-person programs will continue in person. On May 6th, only seniors will have in-person classes. May 7th, there will be in-person classes for freshmen. Finally, on May 10th, all grades are in person. In-person students are expected to comply with mask and distancing rules. Citizen of the Month is a great way to celebrate your peers who have a positive impact on our school. Vote for someone who spreads positivity and is kind to others in order to make Arlington a more welcoming place. The Google form is below. The AHS Comedy Club meets once a week to enjoy watching stand-up comedians, sitcoms, and more. If you're interested in joining, the Google Classroom code is JE40BHU. I'm Natalie Fitch, and that's all for this week's Ponderscope.
Thank you all for watching. That's all we have for today. For the cast and crew of ACMi News, I'm Isabel Litters.
And I'm Anim Osmani. We'll see you next week.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.